The 49ers came up with a big 31-14 win here at SoFi Stadium today. I will be back in just a moment with my reaction to the 49ers victory. Hey everybody, welcome to SoFi Stadium. Jack Hammer here with my instant reaction to the 49ers' big 31-14 victory over the Rams today. What a game. Came in today earlier this afternoon when I was doing my pregame show, and I said, well, how are the 49ers going to get to 20 points today? No Deebo Samuel, no Kyle Juszczyk, no Juwan Jennings. How is this offense going to get it done? Thought Christian McCaffrey would be able to be a big part of that, but I had no idea that this 49ers offense was going to be able to come out and score 31 points today. That's actually the most points the 49ers offense has scored all season long. This is the only other time the 49ers offense has scored 4 touchdowns in a game this season. Has scored 5 times in a game this season on offense. 4 touchdowns and a field goal was against the Carolina Panthers. And this is a totally different situation. That Carolina Panther defense was missing both of their starting safeties. It was missing its best middle linebacker. That wasn't the case today. The Rams defense was relatively healthy, and the 49ers offense came out, did what they had to do. I was quite surprised. Be interested to see what you guys have to say about that in the comments section. But really, just a really good performance from the 49ers offense today. And it was a big win for the 49ers. They needed to get this victory, like I said. They now sweep the Rams for the 4th season in a row in the regular season with this win. And, despite the score, it wasn't easy for the 49ers. This was a game throughout the first half. At halftime, the 49ers were actually trailing 14-10. So, they came out, they turned that thing around in the second half, and really good on them. Jimmy Garoppolo had a decent day today. Christian McCaffrey, obviously the star of the show. On the defensive side, you saw some interesting things taking place in the first half, and we'll get into that a little bit as well. So let's just start going through one at a time. Just want to point to a couple of folks over in the comment section. We got Randall Riley, member of the Toolbox over there, says, I wonder how many folks want those draft picks back and return Christian McCaffrey to the Panthers now. I'm sure the Lambs wouldn't mind having him. Hey, I agree. I questioned that whole thing all from the very beginning. I was a big fan of the 49ers going after Christian McCaffrey. I thought Christian McCaffrey coming out of Stanford was phenomenal. And we've seen him in 2 games with the 49ers start to show some of those things that we saw from Christian McCaffrey during his time with Stanford, which almost won him the Heisman Trophy. His ability to run up inside as well as get the outside on the screens and the toss plays and those kinds of things. He's a game changer for the 49ers at running back. And we'll talk a little bit about that. We have Jason Walsh in the house, says, yes, sir. Randall is excited because the 49ers are 3-0 in the division. That's a big deal. And then also Goya Van Jinks is on here, and he says the offense was better without Deebo today. Cal needs to learn from this and spread the ball around more and stop the wide back gimmick. It is done. Well, Goya, I agree with you, and I said that last week, that the 49ers need to stop utilizing Deebo Samuel in the backfield so much. They're fine with Christian McCaffrey and Jeff Wilson Jr. as your 2 main backs in the backfield. It's going to be even better when they get back Elijah Mitchell after the bye. That's the expectation there. Get Deebo Samuel, let him play wide receiver, let him get the ball on the screens, let him run routes, let him, every once in a while get the ball on an end around kind of thing. But get him out of the backfield because that worked well last year when the 49ers needed it. But Deebo Samuel's a top-level player. He's an elite NFL talent, but he's not an elite NFL running back. He kind of caught some teams off guard last year, and then coming into this season, teams figured it out and did a much better job with that. So Jay Guayo says, thank you for the super chat. Jay says, it's amazing what happens when we execute well. Absolutely. This was a game we talked the last 2 weeks about execution, and that's why there was so much negativity around Kyle Shanahan. I think people were blaming play calling for lack of execution. And Shanahan definitely deserves blame for the execution part because that's part of his job as the coach. But he got them to execute today. I thought he had a well put together plan. Jimmy Garoppolo was pretty good with that plan. 7 different wide receivers today touching the ball for the 49ers. 7 different receivers, not wide receivers, but 7 different offensive players catching passes for the 49ers today. It was a well put together plan that struggled in the first half, and we'll get to that. And then we saw it executed and really be at a high level in the second half. Jason says, yep, Jack, it was at one point feeling like a dogfight until it wasn't close at all. Christian McCaffrey, thank you. And it really was. You go back through this game, and we got Quesadilla Thrilla, member of the Toolbox in here as well. He says, Jack, this is honestly the first time in a long time that the team made adjustments. Right before the half, the defense started blitzing. Well, let's see. Right before the half, they scored a touchdown. The Rams got stopped. They ran the ball twice. I don't know about the 49ers all of a sudden starting to blitz, but what happened, we'll get into that as well, because there wasn't, I don't know if it was really an adjustment by the 49ers defense as much as it was just getting better on the early downs. And that was really what it was all about. The halftime adjustments by D'Amico today were impressive, says Randall. He agrees with Jedi on something that he said up here earlier, which I'm not sure what that one was. D'Amico adjusting a double plus. So yeah, definitely an interesting game, right? And you go through this one. I look at this one, just some of my notes, the way that I put this together. My thing was, can the 49ers offense play clean? That's one of the things we talked about all week long in the last 2 weeks, was the mistakes that they're making on that side. And they made some mistakes in the first half, and that's why it was only it was 14-10, and they didn't have a couple of touchdowns to show for it. They had an offsides by Trent Williams on a false start on their second possession that slowed them down a little bit, but they were able to overcome that when McCaffrey connected with Ayuk for the touchdown pass. The first possession, you had the deep shot by Jimmy Garoppolo to Ray McCloud. He just underthrew it a little bit. McCloud was out there. He just a little late on getting it out of his hands because he just doesn't quite have the arm to get it out there. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quicker in order to get that ball out in front of him and let him run underneath it instead of having to slow down and wait for the ball to come, and it allows him to get knocked away. The third possession, you had Aaron Banks getting called for a personal foul or for an illegal block to open up that possession. But you're able to get a personal foul by Rapp that wiped that one away. And then the 49ers moved the ball well. They got down into the red zone, but you just had some mistakes. You get down there, and Leonard Floyd they get a stop on first down. They stop McCaffrey for no gain. Then you get a sack by Floyd to end the drive, and you get the field goal there. Actually, it was a sack by Floyd, and then Garoppolo throws the ball to McCaffrey, who it looks like he catches it and fumbles it, but it's ruled an incompletion. And in some ways, I think that actually plays to the 49ers' benefit here, because they were going to go for it. It was going to be fourth and goal at that point, and they were going to go for it right there. And the ball not being caught made it a longer situation. I got some guy who's going to look at this guy right here.
Big win!
Hey, look
at
that.
Go Niners! Go Niners!
See, he's here. How you doing, Grant?
It's doing great, man. You got a good setup here. I like this.
It's a good view, right?
It's a good view, man.
Yeah. It's a lot better when they turn the music down in this place.
That's important.
Because this is like the loudest joint that I've ever. This is like a nightclub during the game.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Have a good time.
Have a good one. Hey, stay safe. All right, so there we go. Good game for the 49ers, though. Where was I? That was a lot of fun right there. Let's see. Where were we? Let's get back to it. Just overall, they got rolling. They had the mistakes there. They had some mistakes the second half. You didn't have them. You got lucky at the beginning of the second half, though, right? Garoppolo with the ball down the middle hits Jalen Ramsey right in the hands. That was a tough one for Garoppolo, though, because he's dropping back. It looks like Ramsey's blitzing, and it could be a situation where he's blitzing and he just makes a really good job and stops and gets it. Otherwise, though, it looked to me like Ramsey it was almost like it was designed. Like Ramsey was coming on a blitz. They were going to show blitz and rob it. But regardless, Ramsey drops the ball. Huge break for the 49ers right there, because the Rams don't get that good field position. And then from there on, it's 49ers all the way. And we're talking about the adjustments for the defense on the defensive side. On the defensive side, I don't think there were really as adjustments as much as the 49ers just started executing on the early downs. This game changed in the second half, on the about halfway through that first possession for the Rams were moving the ball a little bit on that first possession, remember? And then they got into a situation where they ended up, I think it was an incompletion on first down, finally stopped them, and then a run on second only picked up a couple yards. And so they finally got into a third and long. They had been in third and short all day. They had been in either first and second down, or when they did get a third down, it was third and short. And the Rams were able to just dink and dunk and run, the screens all over the place on the 49ers. Once the 49ers started to get stops on first down, now you had second and long and third and long, and now you start getting pressure, and you get Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and Charles Omenihu and just that defensive front start to get some pressure on there. And I think that was the biggest difference in this game was first and second down for the Rams not being good in the second half, and the 49ers being able to take advantage of that on third down. And then on the other side, you have Christian McCaffrey and Jimmy Garoppolo going off. So just a really fun game. Let's just go through some of your comments, and we'll go through that real quick. Quesadilla Thrillo says, first time in a very long time, all three phases were solid. They made adjustments, and they finally added some wrinkles. Hey, you're right. That was the other thing, right? Offense played well. Defense played well. Special teams played well. Also, a couple of nice punt returns from Ray McLeod today. Really helped them out on that side. And, again, there was for me one of the coolest drives of the game, and I don't know if you guys noticed this on the television, but I noticed it because I chart I chart the personnel groupings, and I kind of am paying attention to the formations and the motions. That first touchdown drive of the second half from the 49ers, that long one, the one that ended up with the Garoppolo touchdown pass to McCaffrey over here, they were in 12 personnel because they didn't have Kyle Juszczyk, so they were using a tight end as a fullback. But in this one, they weren't really lining them up in the backfield as much. They were pretty much lining them up together, and one guy would motion to the other side. And they did that over and over and over again until one time, instead of having a motion all the way across, he started the motion, and then they just cracked, and they ran the toss around that side. But they used the same personnel group, the same formation, the same motion-looking thing over and over again, but with different plays behind it. And that makes it really hard for the defense when you keep seeing the same thing, but the guys are going in all different ways. So that was what I think for Kyle Shanahan. You could see Kyle at that point. I was like, hey, Kyle Shanahan's he's in his zone right now. He's comfortable. He knows what he's getting, and he's attacking it with the same stuff over and over again. And when the 49ers are really good, that's what you see. You go back to when they played. He did that against the Rams the last time they played here. You see him. He really likes to get into 12 personnel with both the tight ends kind of as wings on each side, and he motions them around. He does that a lot. It basically helps to balance up the defensive front that they're getting. And they did that, and they did a little bit different way today, and they just took it right down the field on them. Really good stuff, and might be getting a little bit too far into the weeds with some of the football stuff on that one, but just really good. And again, Christian McCaffrey, you used a second-round pick, a third-round pick, a fourth-round pick in this next draft, gone for Christian McCaffrey. That's a deal. That's a deal for the 49ers. I said it at the time that they made the trade. I continue to say it now. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but Christian McCaffrey is a difference maker. The last time the 49ers had a running back that can do the things that Christian McCaffrey does was in 2019 when Raheem Mostert and Matt Breida were in the backfield. He has that kind of speed. He has vision and the ability to hit the hole quick and just burst through it. And you add in his ability to get out of the backfield and make plays with out of the backfield on the receiving end. They have a tremendous backfield with him. He is a stud. Go back if you don't know a whole lot about Christian McCaffrey and all you know of him is from in the NFL. See if you can find some stuff of Stanford during his time at Stanford, going back to what would that be, 2016, 2015, Stanford football. Because Christian McCaffrey was a guy who was really good at running. He's not a big dude, but he's big enough, and he's strong between the tackles. You see him hit it up in there, and I just really enjoy watching him play football. And I think, you watch him, the way he ran the ball today, I think in like 187 says, Christian McCaffrey's a dog, and you're seeing that. for the 49ers on the other piece of it was on the offensive side, Brandon Ayuk getting off today as well. Big game for Brandon Ayuk. He led the 49ers with 81 receiving yards today. Big day for him. It was good to see. It was, like I said at the beginning, Jimmy Garoppolo hit passes to 7 different 49ers players today. How about Ross Dwelley today? Let's do a shout out for the real tight end, Ross Dwelley. No, I mean, remember after the game against Atlanta, are you throwing the ball to Charlie Warner when you have Ross Dwelley standing on the sidelines? Well, because of injury, Ross Dwelley, last week we saw Ross Dwelley get more snaps. He was about 11 of the 24 snaps that they used 2 tight ends. Today he was out there even more often because of no Kyle Juszczyk. Look at what happened. You got a guy that can catch the ball running deep down that sideline, and he catches it for 56 yards. Imagine you throw the ball to a guy that can catch. Good things happen. So, Ross Dwelley, he's not going to give you the same kind of stuff that George Kittle does. He's not the dynamic playmaker after the catch. He's not necessarily like the 6th offensive lineman on the field, but he's a really good tight end for what he can bring to the 49ers, and he's really the missing piece. The 49ers offense needs a guy that as their second tight end that can catch the ball. Kyle Juszczyk is that guy sometimes when he's on the field, even though he's a fullback. But, we saw the 49ers in 2020 try to go that direction. They couldn't find the right guy, and Dwelley's the guy, and I would like to see him get more run. Get Ross Dwelley out there. Let him catch a couple of balls a game. Like, at least let him get out there and block, because I think he's really good. Quesadilla Throw says, Jack, would you like to see the Niners sign OBJ and Sue? Not OBJ. I don't think they need OBJ. They already have Brandon Ayuk. They have Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. They have, George Kittle. I don't think they have another spot really for another wide receiver necessarily. There's only so many guys that you can get. But I do think that if you can get Ndamukong Suh as a free agent to come in here on a cheap deal right here, like around the trade deadline or something like that, then you go out and you do it, because that's the one area that the 49ers are struggling at, is in that middle of the defensive line. You're seeing, I pointed it out today on the live blog at the Press Democrat, that there was a point in this game where the middle of the offensive line was starting to win for the Rams, and the 49ers middle was getting pushed off the ball, and you're seeing the Rams pick up 4 or 5 yards on those carries on first down, and that was a problem. They were able to kind of overcome that after. But right now they're struggling, and I know we're expecting to get Eric Armstead back at some point. I don't know when. I'm not sure what's happening with Javon Kinlaw. He's on injured reserve, so he's not going to be around anytime soon. But it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think Sue would be a good signing. Armchair QB1 jumps in. He says, gas money. Hey, thank you very much. He says, you have some kind of pop going on. I think it's these headphones that I've got to use. I don't have my normal ones and my normal mic set up when I'm on the road. So I got to go get myself a new thing here. So I apologize for that. But I want to say thank you very much for the gas money, because, yes, I'm paying for it. I drove down this morning from Northern California, and we'll be heading back home tonight. I was not going to be staying down here. I'm going to actually be heading home because I get to go to work tomorrow. So I'm going to get home around midnight, a little after midnight, and then be up in the morning and get to work and have a good day there, and then do some writing for you guys as well. So really appreciate you guys on that. Randall Riley pops in as well. Thank you as well. $20. Here's some gas money. Damn expensive there in LA, I'm sure. I'm going to try to make it back to just outside of LA before I get some gas, because it's really expensive. You're right. It's expensive here in LA. I'm hoping I can get over the Grapevine before I have to get some gas. Because if I get back into the Central Valley area, it'll be a lot cheaper for me. So we'll see what I can do. But I really appreciate both of you guys with those super chats. And then really quick, just to kind of, I'm not sure, where I kind of left off. I've been all over the board because I'm really excited about this game. I thought this was a super game for the 49ers, just from the fact that they struggled early and they had a heck of a second half effort. All the negative stuff that we've heard about this team, they went out today and they shut us all up. It was an interesting first half as well, in that On defense, really quick, they were struggling at times, and you saw Talanoa Hufanga take himself out of the game. I think he might have got dinged up, so he took himself out. And then they also took out, at one point, they took Jimmy Ward off the field. They pulled Jimmy Ward off and put in Ambry Thomas at cornerback and moved Diamador Lenore into the slot. 2 plays later was the touchdown pass in which they beat Cook, got into the end zone. Flyers were in a zone. Cup got matched up with Oren Burks, so that's a matchup that he's going to lose every time. And you can't have let Oren Burks get matched up in that situation. But it was interesting, and I said, hey, Jimmy Ward had made some comments that he wasn't sure if he wants to. It made it sound like he didn't really want to be playing in the slot, and then the team takes him out. And I think the 49ers coaching staff did a good job there to kind of pull him out, get him ready, get him right, and then he did a much better job of playing in the second half. The 49ers defense overall did a much better job in the second half. So see if that works. But it was a pretty good overall game for the 49ers. Like I said, it was a rough start. Jimmy Garoppolo, 4 incompletions on the day. I think this might have been one of his better performances since 2019. Look back at his numbers from 2021. I don't remember him having a game quite like that in 2021, but 2019 he was pretty solid. And like I said, he had a couple of balls today that hit Jalen Ramsey in the hands. But other than that, he had the deep ball that was dropped. Those are 3 of his 4 incompletions. Imagine that. It was pretty darn solid. And Miguel, you missed it. Grant was here. Grant and I, we were kumbaya. He was saying hi to all you guys and screaming, and we were talking about how great the stadium is, except for when they blast the noise and make it sound like a night bar. But other than that, it's so loud in here when they play the music. But it's cool. It's a good stadium. This is what a stadium. This is an NFL stadium. When I'm like this is what an NFL stadium should look like. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I mean, look at this place. It's massive. The crowd's right on top of the field, and it's a great view from everywhere. You got the roof on it, which isn't necessarily I don't necessarily think they need a roof on it, but it's an amazing stadium, and the Rams folks are very lucky to be able to come here for all their games. I'll tell you that. It's a beautiful place. I love driving down here for the second time now. The Buddha, thank you for your super chat. Does Debo look expendable to you now? No. You have Debo Samuel as a wide receiver gadget player, and you have Christian McCaffrey as a running back gadget player. Those 2 guys can coexist in this offense and do very good things. And so it's going to be interesting to see how it all meshes together when they come back. But I think part of it is, as Christian McCaffrey begins to get more comfortable in this offense, you're going to see him really take it to the next level when it comes to running the ball. So, you saw a little bit of that today. I think he had 92 yards or 98 yards rushing on only 18 carries. This is a guy who's going to do that, I think, on a regular basis in this offense because he knows how to hit the holes. He's a difference maker. But no, Debo Samuel's not expendable right now for sure. Goyer Von Jinx, thank you for your super chat. The Buddha, thank you for your super chat as well. Coffee money for that long, boring drive. Hey, I'll pick up one at some point along the way. I'm going to grab something to eat too, and I'm going to take my time, but I'm going to have that cruise control set at 80. We'll make it back home pretty quick. But thank you. I appreciate it very much. Red Eye says Jimmy is useless with the club hand. You can't play safety when hands are required. You're right. It's much harder for him with that club. But Jimmy Ward's never been good as a slot player. Remember, they tried to make him that as a rookie in 2014, 14, 15, 16. There was a reason why Jimmy Ward was not a fan favorite early on in his career, because he was getting beat constantly at playing corner and playing in the slot. You put him back at safety, he's much better. You bring him down to let him cover tight ends in man coverage, he's good. You try to have him match up with wide receivers, it's going to be a struggle. They're doing it's. I like they don't have anything else right now. But if Jason Verrett comes back and Jason Verrett is healthy, that's going to create it's going to be interesting to see what the 49ers decide to do when Jason Verrett is healthy and able to start at cornerback and where they go. If does Deommodore Lenoir go to the sidelines, or does he go back into the slot? Or does Jimmy Ward go to the sidelines and Lenoir go into the slot? That'll be a really interesting one. Let's see what else we've got. I missed a whole bunch of them. There we go. Well, Jalen Ramsey, I don't know if he's a joke. He's a pretty good guy, good player. Quesadilla Thrilla, run DMCCC. That's right. Run DM McCaffrey. You got that. But hey, good game for the 49ers today. Jimmy Garoppolo had a big game. Christian McCaffrey, touchdown, throwing, running, and catching. Only the fourth player since 1970 to pull off that. So a big game there. The 49ers defense, after giving up back-to-back scores, not able to get off the field in the first half. Again, it was like Kansas City all over again. Stop on the first drive, back-to-back touchdowns, then you get halftime. But they come out in the second half, they pitch a shutout, the offense gets things rolling, 31-14 49ers. And this is going to be an interesting one to see where they go from here. They get the week off, and then it picks right up with a big game against the Chargers on a Sunday night at Levi's. So it's going to be, it doesn't get any easier for the 49ers. Those AFC teams are difficult, and that's going to be a big-time game for the 49ers right there, because it doesn't seem like the chart like Seattle is going to go away anytime soon with their win today over the Giants to keep a one-game lead, or half-game lead, I guess it is, over the 49ers right now. I have a feeling this thing's coming down to December 15th in Seattle, whether the 49ers are going to win the NFC West or not. That's my thing, is I think that's where it's going to be decided. Look for December 15th, Thursday night, 49ers, Seattle. I think that's going to be the decider in the NFC West. We'll see how it works out. But again, big win for the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo played well. It was funny, right? Last week, everybody was talking about how Jimmy Garoppolo can't keep up with anybody, right? Can't keep up with the big guys. Well, today he just took out Matthew Stafford for the fourth time in four games. Matthew Stafford couldn't keep up with him today. 31 points to 14. Interesting game. And Nick Bosa with the sack, Fred Warner with the sack, Brandon Ayuk with the touchdown reception as well. So hope everybody enjoyed the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm gonna get going, because it's almost gonna take me about 15 minutes to walk to my car, and I want to try to get on the road here. But I really appreciate all of you guys. I think. Did I miss it? I think I got all the super chats. I know there was one there from Randall. I got that one, the gas money. I got the armchair quarterback one. The Buddha, I got his. I got Goira's. I don't think I missed any of the super chats. I think I got them all. I didn't see one from you, Tommy. Shoot. Let me go back through it and see if I can find yours, because I like you, because you're a good guy. You're always on my show, and you're over there with where are you? Must be way up at the top, because I'm scrolling through it and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it, Tommy. I don't see you in here. I just went through all of them. Well, last time you missed my super chat last time. Okay, I apologize, Tommy. Okay. If you have a question you want me to ask, want to ask me, throw it out. But here's the deal. I'm going to hit the road. But hey, thank you all for tuning into this show. I know I was a little scatterbrained. Wasn't going through a list or anything. Just pretty much kind of throwing out my thoughts. I just feel like the 49ers were pretty strong today. If you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If there's something that you want me to answer in particular, go ahead and hit that below in the comment section after this is over with. I'll make sure that I get to those. Make sure you check out 49ers.pressdemocrat.com. That's the Inside the 49ers blog over there. But most important, I need you guys everybody, before you leave, hit that like button for me if you can, please. If you're watching the show and you're not already a member of my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Trying to grow this thing up. The more people, hey, let your friends and your family know too, because the more people that watch the show, the better the channel does. The better the channel does, the more I'm going to be able to start traveling the games, and I can make it to this one because it's a drive, and I appreciate all the super chats. It's just gas money to this one. I don't have to pay for a hotel or airfare. So, but if you guys have friends and family that are 49er fans, let them know. Get them on the channel. It's free to watch. It's free to subscribe. thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I will be back tomorrow with, I won't be able to be on with Rob because he's got some things going on, but I'll be doing a show by myself. I might even be doing a call-in show type of thing. So check it out. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Like, subscribe, and we will talk soon. Take care, everybody.